Hello all, today we're here to talk about the Game Boy Micro. The Game Boy Micro was originally released in September of 2005, about a year after the release of the original Nintendo DS. It is sadly the last system to bear the Game Boy name. It was released primarily to keep the Game Boy name alive, but sadly the product in question did not fill a niche anyone needed filled. The Game Boy Micro lacked many of the features that had been found on previous incarnations of the Game Boy Advance. Firstly, the system has no backwards compatibility. It only works with Game Boy Advance cartridges. It does not work with original Game Boy or Game Boy Color cartridges at all. It is also not compatible with the Game Boy Advance e-reader. Also, Nintendo never released a cable to allow you to plug a Game Boy Micro into a Nintendo GameCube. While the system is theoretically capable of being plugged into a GameCube, no cable exists. However, I am told that a cable can be made from scratch if you're so inclined. As you can see, the Game Boy Micro is considerably smaller than its predecessors, hence the name Micro. The system is about the same size as an old-style cell phone, having a screen that is also about the same size as an old-style cell phone's. The system is actually smaller than most modern smartphones and has a screen that is considerably smaller than an average smartphone screen. While the screen of the system is very small, it is very clear, very sharp, and is fully backlit. While you would think the size of the screen would prevent you from playing certain types of games, such as text-heavy RPGs, it doesn't turn out to be a problem in practice. Every bit of text looks very clear and very readable on the screen, at least with every text-heavy game I have in my possession, that is. The system itself has several unique features. On the top of the system, we see where you plug the system in to recharge. It is a different recharging port than is on the Game Boy Advance SP, which is part of the reason you can't plug it into a GameCube. On the side, we see this little toggle switch that controls the volume. It beeps every time you touch it. Speaking of the sound on the Game Boy Micro, it is not as good as on a Game Boy Advance SP. It is more than somewhat tinny, but given the size of the system, it's understandable. However, it does have a standard headphone jack, and it sounds just great with a good pair of headphones. So it's not a limitation of the sound hardware, it's more a limitation of the speaker itself. The very unique feature of the Game Boy Micro is the fact you can remove the faceplate and replace it with another. When the Game Boy Micro was released, Nintendo and third-party companies released dozens of different faceplates, allowing you to customize the look of your system to whatever your style might be. Overall, it is a great little system to have, and I very much enjoy the one that I own. I recommend you get one if you are looking to complete your collection, or if you can get one cheaper, then you could get a Game Boy Advance SP perhaps. However, if you're looking for a system to use in tandem with a GameCube or with the GameCube Game Boy player, this is not the system to get. You should definitely look and try to find a Game Boy Advance SP instead.